What's up everyone? In this video I'll be showing you how to create nested component variants in Figma in 3 minutes. Gone are the days where you would create millions of copies of components if you wanted another variant or instance with different atoms like buttons or icons. With nested variants you can have multiple components that have their own variants that you can access on an organism level. Such as this card component. It uses icons, metadata, button and content atoms and molecule components. Before, you had to keep clicking until you reached a certain component within the card, and you can now change up the variants from a top level. So let's drag this card component into the page and let's have a look at the options we now have. So you can go completely wild with this. As you can see on the right, we've got a lot of toggles for the thumbnail, for the metadata, for the button. But as you can see, it's got nested variants within this component, because really the card's that's the top level component. The content and the button variants that we're seeing, that's these two, and the metadata as well. So the card is the top level component, as you can see here, which is using these sort of subcomponents within it, which is really awesome. So within the button, you even have a sort of conditional value that if you have an icon, you can see it left or right as well. You can position it there. So you can have all these different variations within this component. And it's really simple to set up. So if you go back to these here, this content component can be set up much more hierarchical. So let's have a look at the metadata component. And let's say we want to create another variant where we're not showing the category tag. So we're just going to click this plus button to create another variant within that component and get rid of the category tag. But of course, we cannot access this here yet because we haven't made the connection between this smaller atom. So we need to create that connection. And all you have to do is look at where are we using this smaller component within the bigger component, which is in this case the content component. So as you can already see, we've got the nested instance here, which is the button component. And if we want to add the metadata component, all we need to do here is go back to properties, go to nested instances and tick this box, metadata. And now when you go to the bigger component where all the nesting is taking place, you can now see that we have a metadata property one because we haven't actually given it any values or names yet, from default to variant 2. And as you can see, it instantly changes it. So let's change the naming of this property and let's just call it category yes or no. And we have this one and that one, category yes. No, actually this is no. And category yes. And if you set it up in this way, you get the toggle on the bigger component. So now we can toggle the component for the metadata within this card component. And that's how you create nested component variants in Figma in 3 minutes. Make sure to like this video if it was useful and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.